Hey, I wanted to cover this real quick because Ubisoft was trying to let this one slip between the cracks. Here's the real talk. The Division Resurgence mobile game just got quietly pushed back to fiscal year 2026. No flashy announcement, no community update, just a throwaway line in an investor call. If you blinked, you might have missed it. But this isn't just some small delay. It's another example of Ubisoft's ongoing trend of fumbling the Division franchise. Let's find out why.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
Now, for those of you who don't know what Resurgence is, The Division Resurgence is a mobile game set in the same universe as The Division 2, and it brings us back to New York. It's a free-to-play title, and Ubisoft is positioning it as a more accessible entry into the franchise for casual gamers. You'll be able to team up with other agents in a world still reeling from the chaos caused by the dollar flu virus. The game promises some of the same tactical shooting action we know and love, but with a simpler mobile-friendly experience. The game will feature a mix of story missions, PvP modes, and the chance to level up and collect gear. And I did have the opportunity to test this during one of its betas. But here's the thing, Resurgence feels like it's targeting a whole different crowd than The Division 2. It's designed for mobile users who want something to play on the go, not for players who've invested years into the Division franchise. The controls will be simplified, the graphics won't be as detailed, and the experience won't have the same immersive depth as a full-scale title. The mobile platform just doesn't lend itself to the kind of deep gameplay the Division 2 fans are used to. And if you ask any Division 2 player right now what their favorite thing about the Division franchise is, there's a good chance you're going to hear it's the environment, the atmosphere, that doesn't quite get pulled off in the Resurgence. So when you think about the delay and the lack of updates, it's hard not to wonder if this is just another rushed project being handed off to the mobile market in a last-ditch effort to squeeze out a quick win. And with Resurgence being pushed back even further, you have to question if Ubisoft even knows what it wants this game to be. It's another chapter in Ubisoft's Division saga that feels like it might miss the mark yet again. Another delay? Shocking. At this point, delays are basically part of the Division experience. The Brooklyn DLC for the Division 2. Yeah, that was supposed to be year 6 content, but now it's been pushed to sometime this year, which is about as vague as it gets. Now, Resurgence is following the same pattern. Hype up the game, run a few beta tests, then shove it into the back of the closet and pretend like everything's fine. Okay, let's look at the Division Resurgence timeline of delays. Ubisoft has been dragging this out for a while now. Here's the timeline of everything they've promised and failed to deliver. All right, let's break this down. So in July 2022, Ubisoft comes out swinging. The Division Resurgence is officially announced as a AAA mobile experience. They put out a gameplay trailer, the community gets hyped, and signs up for testing go live. So far, so good. By late 2022, they're running alpha tests. The game is playable, people are posting footage, talking about mechanics, and it seems like we're on track for a 2023 release. And we roll into 2023 and things slow down. More beta tests happen, but Ubisoft refuses to give an actual release date. They just keep saying soon. Meanwhile, X-Defiant and Skull and Bones, two other long-delayed Ubisoft projects, start getting the same treatment. If you were paying attention, this was the first red flag. And we all know X-Defiant came to shut down soon after it was launched. Come September 2023, they reassured everyone that Resurgence is still on track. On track for what? They don't say. Fast forward to December 2023 and something weird happens. The game starts disappearing from app stores in some regions. No announcement, no patch notes, just gone. That's when people start wondering, is Ubisoft quietly burying this project? Then out of nowhere, around December 24, January 2025, Ubisoft starts posting new job listings for roles related to Resurgence. Now think about that for a second. This is the same company that's in cost-cutting mode, shutting down studios and laying off hundreds of employees. Yet they're hiring for a game they've been completely silent on. Either that means they had a major staff shakeup or they're scrambling behind the scenes to keep development going. And finally, February 2025, Ubisoft drops the news that Resurgence has been delayed to fiscal year 2026. Not in a dedicated update, not in a community post, in an investor call. One sentence buried in financial reports. If that doesn't scream, we don't care, I don't know what does. At this point, it's pretty clear Ubisoft doesn't have a handle on this. The delays, the removals, the job postings, the silence, it all points to a project in trouble. The bigger question is, what's left to trust? Ubisoft isn't exactly thriving right now financially. In quarter 3, they saw a 52% drop in net bookings, down to 301.8 million euro. They've been trimming the fat for a while, closing down studios like San Francisco and Osaka, and they're trying to slash over 200 million euro in costs. That's not just some corporate noise, it directly impacts Resurgence. Over the past 18 months, Ubisoft's been cutting jobs like it's going out of style. About 1,700 employees have been let go, and Ubisoft Leamington in the UK alone displaced 180 workers. Now, I'm not saying that the studios behind the Division Resurgence are directly affected, but come on, with layoffs and closures happening all over, there's no way that the resources for Resurgence haven't been hit. The delays and the silence? Yeah, that makes sense now, right? But how is the studio behind the Division Resurgence holding against Ubisoft's financial turmoil? It's actually sort of complicated. The Division Resurgence is being developed by a core lead team at Ubisoft, collaborating with various studios and partners worldwide. While Ubisoft hasn't publicly disclosed the specific studios involved, it's evident that the game's development is a collective effort within the Ubisoft family. So, it's possible the studios working on the game have already been named in the recent layoffs and shutdowns. Whether that's the case or not, when Ubisoft's facing such massive cutbacks, those studios working on the game are likely running on fumes, and that can't be helping development. The financial strain is real and showing in every corner. Now, about the hiring situation. Most of the job postings for the Division Resurgence are in Saint-Mandé, a suburb of Paris, which means they're mostly looking for people who are already there. That means these postings are likely HR fair hiring postings for internal people facing layoffs, interviewing for a new job in the company they already work for. Even if Ubisoft does manage to pull in some new blood, how long before they start facing more cuts? It's not exactly the best environment to attract new developers. But I have a question for you. Where are the community managers? You'd think after a delay this big, Ubisoft would at least say something to the players. Nope. Radio silence. No updates, no damage control, nothing. Just another reason why the Division community is feeling completely ignored. Meanwhile, does anyone out there even care? That's the real question, isn't it? The longer Ubisoft keeps fumbling the Division, the more players are just walking away. And who can't blame them? Instead of expanding and improving on what made the Division great, they've been burning time, money, and goodwill. The Resurgence launch, if it ever comes, is looking more like a lost opportunity than the next big thing. So is it even worth the wait? Or are we just watching another game crash and burn under the weight of poor decisions? And the audience, who is the Division Resurgence really for? Because I don't think the core Division 2 community is the target here. Think about it. Resurgence is a mobile game, and let's be honest, mobile games don't exactly scream hardcore player. Sure, the Division 2 has its fair share of casual players, but the ones who stick around, grind, and are deeply invested, they're not sitting around hoping for a Resurgence mobile experience to come save their day. The Division 2 audience is largely looking for a game that gives them a rich tactical and deep experience. I mean, the Brooklyn DLC would be nice, but also many are calling for the Division 3 to hurry up and roll out. They want the loot grind, the gear sets, the team-based play, but a mobile version, it's going to be a whole different vibe. The controls won't be as tight, the strategic depth won't be there, and the experience will be scaled back. Mobile gaming is about quick sessions, flashy gameplay, and pulling in new players who might not have the time or the interest for the deeper stuff that the Division 2 thrives on. And honestly, if Ubisoft's banking on the Division 2 crowd to make Resurgence a hit, they're in for a rude awakening. The people still invested in the Division series are probably not itching for a mobile game to scratch that itch. Most likely, Resurgence is going to attract casual gamers who maybe don't even know what the Division really is, or the few who just want something simple to pass the time. Now, Ubisoft's probably hoping that the Resurgence brand will bring some of that nostalgia back, the kind of stuff that makes people think, oh yeah, I remember the days when the Division was fun. Maybe this mobile game is worth checking out. But let's be real, nostalgia only goes so far when the game doesn't deliver, and right now, based on what we've seen, it's hard to say that Resurgence will be anything more than a quick cash grab for Ubisoft, with a few dedicated fans here and there. So is Resurgence worth the wait? Hard to say because we're still stuck waiting for something substantial. From my gameplay experience, I mean, it was okay, so that's not going to have me quickly logging in on a daily basis. And Ubisoft's been juggling so many financial issues and layoffs that it's tough to see how Resurgence will escape the same fate as other half-baked mobile attempts. At the end of the day, it's another one of those wait-and-see situations, but if you're holding your breath, I'm not, For it to fill the shoes of The Division 2, you might want to manage your expectation. Bottom line is Ubisoft is in a rough spot, and The Division Resurgence is feeling the effects of it. Don't be surprised if this game gets caught in the crossfire. And one thing's for sure, Ubisoft needs to figure it out and fast. So what do you think about this delay? Is this thing ever going to see the light of day? Are you looking forward to The Division Resurgence? Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?